You are now listening to Oversaturated, the podcast hosted by Johnnie and Ralph. Now let's get it.
Welcome to another episode of Oversaturated, the podcast, where we discuss music, movies, pop culture, and everything in between. I'm Johnnie.
And I'm Ralph.
Welcome to episode number 108.
108, man. We are back, man. I'm Ralph, aka Ralph Translate, Mr. Sensitivity.
I love it. That's my
Shout out to the wife.
I love that song. I'm about to be on the beach. God damn it, it's lit. It's lit. New listeners, please follow us on all social media. Facebook, just search Oversaturated the podcast. Twitter is Oversat Podcast. Instagram is Oversat the podcast. And our email is oversatpodcast@gmail.com. And check out our website, oversatthepod.com. Anything you need to know about OS is there.
Yes, sir. And if you want to follow us individually, I am the Mind of Ralph on Instagram and Twitter.
On Twitter, I'm JON, 2 underscores, the letter B. On Instagram, I'm JBS_ESL_AAMU. My guy.
I know, man. It's been a long time. Shouldn't have left you without a dope pod to step to.
Man.
We have to apologize, but we took a week off. No drama. No.
Right, we gotta put that disclaimer out there.
There's no drama within the inner workings of OS.
No internal beef.
No internal beef.
Nobody wants to see accounting.
Right, literally. And my man cooks the books. So look, it was just we just couldn't get together to give a quality show last week.
Yeah.
It was just the schedules didn't align. I was out of town last weekend, and then by the time we even got back, we would have been scrambling to put something together, so it just wouldn't have worked.
I'm sorry, this is funny. The accounting, I want to see the accounting. That shit is funny.
We'll get to that later in the show, too. You already know. We got to catch up on a few things. But, Johnny, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I was telling Ralph earlier, I went way too hard in tennis today. My body hurt. Yeah. I don't know. I was feeling it. It's hot outside. It was damn near 90. Yeah. That's the type of heat I like to play in, and it's the first time all year. It's the first time I've sweated playing tennis all year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it felt good though. The week was good. Work always seems to be extra when they know you're not going to be there for a few days. I don't understand why that is.
Yeah.
But I got through it. I'm going on vacation. It's lit. Yeah, man. But of course, we had to bring y'all some content before.
Oh yeah, before that, we can go 2 weeks now. That'd been asinine.
Yeah,
we couldn't
right.
do that. We couldn't do that.
How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling a lot better. I came down with the sinus infection, cold. I don't know what happened, but went a little too hard last weekend. Me and a few of my fraternity brothers went down to Shreveport and Dallas, that area. Just we had a good time, not a long time, just in and out, boom, back home. So. I'm still in a way recovering from that. That's probably why I went even harder in the gym. On top of being, down with things. I got, Alka-Seltzer right here. I'm about to take while I'm recording. So it's just that I need to kind of let that quick getaway, that release like you're getting ready to do. So it's all good for your mental.
Definitely, 100%. That's what's up. I'm glad you was able to do that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you East St. Louis Superman going hard in the gym. I keep telling y'all, nobody is going harder in the gym right now than Ralph. I love it.
Hey, man, I appreciate that, brother. It's just, my motivation is a little bit different than others. Like, I don't have the physique of, maybe like a bodybuilder, but I damn sure lift like one. And I'm doing things to build endurance. I'm telling you, it's more so than just I want to be the strongest in the gym. That's cool, you know what I'm saying? But my wind will be up. That type of stuff. So it's all about health,
For facts. That, man, endurance shit is different.
Oh, yeah.
It's different.
It's really different. Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, so what we going to begin to it?
Yeah, off the dome, baby.
The dome. All right. Should I take it? You want to take it?
I'll go first. I think it's I was watching I was watching. Well, hold on. I'll go to my question, then I'll give you my answer.
Okay.
Okay. My off the dome, movie related or acting related. If you were an actor, what movie role would you not take and why? Like, it's easy to say, oh, I want to play this person, and this is the type of movie I would make. What movie would you stay? Like, what movie, what content, what acting role would you stay away from?
I think any type of acting role similar to like what Martin did in Big Mama's House, where I went, or Medea, those type-esque roles.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think I would be fit to play a woman. Like
Okay.
I can't identify. Like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, I get what you're saying, but it's more so like when guys play those type of roles, it's nothing but a caricature. It's nothing but what you think a woman would do. Like, and
a lot of people, they go on rants about, oh, they just want black men to be all that type of shit. Like, okay, like cool if that's your argument, fine. But for me personally, that's not the reason I would not take that type of role. It's just because I don't think I would be fit to play it. I think a lot of people are like, as much as I don't like Medea, Tyler Perry he does well in that role. Like he does. Like
it's his best acting.
I mean, facts. So it's like the man he got $1 billion off doing that shit. The plays, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
People watch that because clearly he's still doing them. So
yeah.
But for me personally, I just don't think I can do that.
I think a role I would stay away from, and I'll give you a slight tidbit. I watched a show called Godfather of Harlem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's based off historical figures. Like Bumpy Johnson is a historical gangster,
Right.
but it has a lot of Malcolm X stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, ooh, I don't know if I ever want to play like a historical figure, not necessarily about Malcolm X, but I was looking at the people that play like Elijah Muhammad and things like that, which are considered, we should revere them regardless, but they're looked at as controversial figures. And then there are still a lot of people, namely right now in the Nation of Islam, that follow the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, even though he's passed away.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a role I don't know if I would want to take, because you take on a lot of flack when you don't hit the, like, quote unquote, nail the role.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, especially, obviously biopics, we crucify anybody that plays anybody, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't think I ever want that smoke. Like playing like a historical figure, especially somebody as controversial, quote unquote, as Elijah Muhammad or something like that.
I know this. Listen, I still don't forgive Flex Washington for fucking Michael Jackson. Is that his name? Flex?
Yeah, Flex.
Yeah. That shit was atrocious. But okay. I like that answer though.
Yeah.
That's a dope answer. Alright, so for my off the dome, I'm just gonna get straight to it.
Okay.
You ever heard a lyric in a song, rap, pop, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
This artist says the lyric and you automatically know this person is lying. Like you just, in your mind, you just look at them and like, you lying. And I'm gonna give you my answer.
Okay.
Trick Daddy. In the song I'm So Hood, his very first line, he says, everybody want to know why I dress so fly. I never heard nobody say, damn, Trick Daddy is dressing. Like, I never heard that ever in my life. Never. So you just know somebody lying. Like, baby, what you got?
It's weird. It's weird. I didn't think of a rap song. And, rappers tend to embellish a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about a pop song.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why a Justin Timberlake song just popped in my
Okay.
mind. Like, it's weird, and I hate that I'm doing it, but it's off the dome. I wish I had more time. But for the sake of time, I'm going to go with Justin Timberlake. It's a song on Justified. I can't think of the name. I think I want to say, wait until something like that. I don't know, I'm look it up. But the start to the beginning of the song said, I want to be your lake or your babe. Any problems that you have, I want to wash them away. I'm in love with my wife, but I ain't trying to be no lake fam. I'm like, I don't know, that's a lot of responsibility, fam. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot of responsibility. You want to do that to yourself, brother? Let me see, hold on.
That's hella funny.
Song. It's called Take It From Here, which is a dope song. You know what I'm saying? I think, that's one of Justin Timberlake's best songs. But that's just the opening line. Hey.
You just lie right out the gate.
Yeah,
like, that's crazy. Like,
any problems that you have, won't watch them away. Yeah, that sounds cute.
But we know.
Hey,
That's crazy.
I'll do anything for your beloved, but look.
That's
That's a lot.
Word. That's facts. That's funny as hell. So that was Off the Dome. Let us know. Have you ever heard a lyric in a song and you just knew the artist was lying?
Yeah. And if you were offered a role, which role in a movie, TV show, whatever play would you not take and why?
Word. Man, it's been a very interesting, hectic 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Since the last time we been on the mic.
Yeah. We gonna start real somber. You know what I'm saying? We gonna start with rest in peace to Paul Mooney, comedic legend.
Yeah.
Famed, writer, famed stand-up, comedic, genius, cultural curator, if you would say, just being a part of some of the biggest acts in comedy history. You know what I'm saying? Just being a writer for, In Living Color. Richard Pryor, like things like that. Like he's been around, and then you know what I'm saying. Obviously, and I'll just say my introduction to him was obviously Chappelle Show. You know what I'm saying. I never knew who Paul Mooney was before then, and that's not a slight. I mean, that's just my age.
Yeah.
So when I got, I was like, oh, this guy's something else. Like, and then you go back and you do your research and you see these other things that he's been involved in, and then he has some great comedy albums on Apple Music or any streaming platform, but Race is definitely one of the bigger ones that I enjoy personally. So
yeah, same. My introduction to Paul Mooney was Chappelle Show as well.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, it's like, yo, who is this? Like, I feel like before Chappelle Show, I maybe had heard his name or something, but never paid too much attention just because of how young I was.
Yeah.
But once I got, once I put the face to a name, then I heard, oh, he wrote for Richard Pryor, wrote for Eddie Murphy, worked with all these people. And then you go back and watch stuff, it's like, oh, my man's is
he's
that dude.
He's one of those ones.
And it's like his comedy, it's not knock you over the head funny. It's political, it's racial, it's intelligent. He has a way of making you think about situations. Like it's great. And seeing clips of like white people leaving his show, it's gold. It's gold. I love it. It's great, man.
Yeah,
it's great. Rest in peace, Paul.
Right. It seemed like he was still, and I've actually seen him live too, and he was great. You know what I'm saying? He sat down the whole time. Like obviously he was up in age by then. I think Paul Mooney died at 81.
Oh man. Okay.
So brother lived a full life. You know what I'm saying? So salute to a legend. Rest in peace to him. Condolences to his family, friends, comedy community at large, and his fans.
Definitely. Whew. Rest in peace, Paul Mooney, man.
Right. Since we're talking about the dead legends, let's keep the energy going, the ball rolling, and talk about Earl Simmons, DMX. Is getting ready to release a posthumous release album named Exodus. Usually I'm not here for posthumous releases, but it's not because it's usually because they're pieced together like type of situations. I'm thinking like these are old X verses. No, this is all new stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what I actually say. I'm glad that it is. It's fresh material. You know what I'm saying? But Johnny, what are your thoughts on it?
So when the news first hit, I was like, I wasn't feeling it because it was just a few weeks after his passing.
Yeah.
But then I realized, he was working on music because
Yeah.
I was reading the track list and it's not in this article that I have right here.
Mm-hmm.
But he has newer acts
Like
on the album.
Like Brazil.
Yeah. Like I was like, okay, so this is clearly a newer album. So then I wasn't as upset. So I'm interested to hear like where his mind was musically before he passed away, because he did pass away like unexpectedly. But we saw him at the Verses, like the videos and clips that we had seen of him prior to him passing. He seemed in good spirits, like he seemed like he was in a good mind state. So I wanted to hear that type of what type of music he has, and to have features like Griselda. He got Nas and Jay on a song. He got Nas on a different song. He got Bono from U2. Like I want to hear this. I want to hear what it sounds like. So.
Now, to be fair, if X had passed away, I probably wouldn't run to listen to this. Like, because we gotta be honest with ourselves. Like, you be like, okay, X got a new album, but this is not X of O yet. Like, this is the thing. We have to be honest about, our feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, not to say that X isn't great, X wasn't great, is the thing, but this ain't 1999. You know what I'm saying?
True. I'm not mad at that take. Now, for me, I'm not gonna say I was gonna run to it, but the features that I saw did make me a little excited.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, but to hear, now I know not X, but Swiss is gonna hype this up,
Oh, of course.
And rightfully so because that's his man's. But he said X was in a great spirit. He had great energy. Like he was ready to put this new energy out because he saw the love that he got from Versus. Yeah. So I was like, okay, now that's what's up.
Definitely.
Now that's what's up. Like to hear that, I was like, okay, that's cool. But Swiss saying it was a masterpiece. I'm like,
all right, let's not do that. Every time a person has come out and said something like that about their album, the album hasn't been good.
Yeah, well, and just a posthumous release, like you don't really get too many classics after the person has passed, even though they made this in a good spirit, right before. But it's rare that we be like, oh, this is the one.
Right.
And they're gone now. It's too far between, too in between and far between or whatever. But it's just like I don't see that happening. But I'm not saying that the music won't be good. That's not what I'm not saying that.
Exactly. Now that I'm thinking about it, the question just popped in my head. So has any of our elder statesmen in hip hop who have put out an album in the last few years put out like classic or
universal classic? No, nobody.
Okay.
Like I could argue that 444 is a strong, solid album, but a lot of people don't like it. So I can't say that it's a classic bar none across the board. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I can say that it's a strong album, but people might feel a different way.
Right.
So you can't do that. You can't do that in this space anyway. You can't say any album after the double XL ratings of 2012, let's say. You know what I'm saying? There's no classic album since 2012, let anybody tell you. I mean, there are classics.
Oh, there definitely are.
There are classics, but these are all subjective at this point because there's no system to rate these things anymore. It's just it's left up to us. Right. And if it's left up to us, everything's classic. If your artist drops something, it's classic. That's
what I'm gonna say. It's artist bias. If your favorite artist drops something, you're gonna call it a classic no matter what. So I was just curious about that since Swiss had these outstanding comments about the coming album.
You already know, but I mean, I get why Swiss did it. I get it. Yeah. But since we're talking about it in the spirit of verses, DMX, may he rest in peace. But let's talk about this verses that just got announced last night, actually. Great for us. Great for our because it was lighting the ass, baby. But no, we got Bow Wow, the God, the legendary Shad Moss, and the legend,
come on now,
DeAndre Wade.
The first month, do anything.
Facing off in a versus. Soulja Boy and Bow Wow. Johnny, your thoughts?
They need to end this with Marco Polo.
That's fair.
But listen, man. Soulja Boy versus Bow Wow.
Interesting.
Off top of my head, I might be taking Soulja Boy, but this is gonna be a fire versus.
It actually is. People gotta put that away, right? Because okay, let's think about this in context, right? And you might hear the troll in my voice when I say like legends. But if you took away the things that they did, you know what I'm saying, the corniest, all right, cool. But Bow Wow is a child star that actually transitioned well into his young adulthood. Yes. He fucked himself up.
He did.
And then by the time he started to fizzle out as a star, because he sold out arenas, you can't take that away from him. Soulja Boy was coming of age.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's the first YouTube star. Period.
Honestly, like a lot of people like to clown Soulja Boy for a lot of different shit, but Soulja Boy was the first artist to go viral and get a deal off the internet. And the blueprint that we see for artists today started with Soulja Boy. Come on. The man is and because of that he's a legend. Because of that alone he's a legend.
Right? It's not the music.
He's not a one-hit wonder either. Like he's not.
And it's so crazy to say this, right? Bow Wow is the better rapper. Clear.
Oh, 100%.
Clear. 100%. Even though he had writers and all that, but he still found a way to prove himself to be a better rapper, right? he doesn't have a crank that.
These are facts. These are facts. These are facts. And that was Soulja Boy first song.
He ain't got a crank that. He ain't got one of them.
It's facts.
He ain't got one of them. So I'm actually excited to see how this plays off. You know they're friends, so it's not like a beef. But you know, it's gonna be hype. It's gonna be very, very competitive.
Word. Oh, 100%.
Very.
And you know, I know they're gonna talk. So Soulja Boy and Bow Wow friends. Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of smack talk back and forth, but I think it's going to be all in good spirits.
Yeah.
Like I think this is going to be. This has the potential to be a top tier versus. Potential. This is going to be well, I hope this is going to be an actual versus.
Yeah.
Like Redman and Method Man was a concert.
Yeah.
Fire, it was a concert. I hope this is an actual versus where they're going back and forth.
Yeah, they actually have they have Marco Polo together, obviously, as a song, but I don't think they have like a collab album worth of, you know, songs together. They might have another, you know, one that I'm missing, but I would dare to say that Soulja Boy got more hits.
I would have to think about that.
Like Bow Wow has the more consistency, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think Soulja Boy has more. Like in this digital age where Bow Wow kind of fizzled out, Soulja Boy just got he got one right now.
Oh shit, he does.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like, you know, it's those little joints here, like.
Yeah. But then, like, I often forget about Fresh As I'm Is, which is actually a dope song. I often forget about the joint with Sierra.
Bow you got feature verses too.
True. And this was my question thinking about it. Does Soulja Boy have any feature verses? Because I'm not
sure about Soulja's feature game.
Okay.
And that may not be it may not be strong because like I know like a Bow Wow would be on like a 3-6 Mafia side to side remix, something like that. So stuff like that Bow Wow could play.
Bow Wow's on the Pop Lock and Drop It remix.
Okay. Then you got a joint with I think he's on. I know he got the song with T-Pain, and I think he has a feature. If I'm not mistaken.
Okay. With T-Pain,
but either way, you got a T-Pain song in your arsenal.
Where the party remix? Wait a minute.
He got them Franchise Boys. He's on that joint. So I mean,
I think they like.
Yeah,
I think on the remix.
So Bow got a few remix joints that he can play.
Okay.
So you know what? I'm thinking. I guess when I say Soulja Boy has more hits, I'm talking about where he's the solo. Yeah. Like it's his song, right? Yeah. But Bow Wow has, you know, he got those.
Damn.
But he still ain't got Crank That.
He definitely got Crank That.
He ain't got Crank That.
Honestly, to me, Soulja Boy can play Crank That like 2 or 3 times. Like, I'm not even gonna fret. That's how big of a smash that was. Like, hey man, Crank That come on right now, I hit it. No. It's cultural shit. That shit fun. Hey man, I'm looking forward to this. Now, okay, let me ask you this. Bow Wow and Soulja Boy, they announced it, but was this announced on Versus official social media accounts? No. So I'm taking this whole Versus with a grain of salt until Versus actually says it. Mm-hmm. Because if it does come, it might not even come till end of the summer. Okay. Because we damn near in June now. So they said it cool, but you know they like attention. So
yeah, they do like attention, but I mean, I'll be honest. Soulja Boy don't need Versus. Versus need Soulja Boy.
Oh, talk about it.
He got one of the number 1 trending songs right now. Y'all need me. Y'all need Big Draco. Fucking me. Like
right? Did anybody really think Bow Wow was gonna go against Romeo? Like, come on.
That was Romeo talking all this shit. Nobody wants
to see it.
The one song that Romeo has. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody. People want to hear that. I'm talking about the actual song he got, which I can't even think of the song. I know it has the Jackson 5 sample, but nobody wants to hear that. Not one.
No. Damn. I'm sorry to that, man.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
Shout out to Bow Wow and Soulja Boy, man. Listen. If that's a real versus, I'm here for it, and I can't wait to see it. I'm gonna get an Airburst T-shirt.
It's nuts, man. But I have no crazy transition for this, but let's just get into the JBP drama, right? You know, friends turn foes, not even real foes, you know what I'm saying? Just business dealings going mad. We have to discuss this. I know it's been out in the pop culture lexicon, it's been timeline talk, every podcast has talked about this, and goddamn it, you go hear it from us too. Now, Joe Budden went on a rant and fired his former co-host / friends on the podcast. Rory, you are fired. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Like, I'm so torn about this. And then, you know, Rory and Maul put out a response pod, which is probably the best thing they could have did, right?
Right.
Damage control. Not even damage control. It's just you're able to get your point, your POV out there, and people can know your truth. Because their truth and Joe's truth, all of it can be true. All this shit, all of it can be true. Like, and it's like I'm not even at a point where I can pick a side, and I'm not trying to. But Johnny, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, honestly, at this point, everybody is giving their point of view from their own perspective.
Yeah.
Like Ralph just said, everything that everybody is saying could be true.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I feel like the lens in which Joe versus Rory and Maul are looking at everything is different. Like they're not looking at the whole situation with the same type of lens.
Yeah.
It's what I feel like the whole thing is. It was crazy. So the whole pod where Joe went on a rant, he yelling, he was sitting on the couch by himself looking over to the empty seats and shit. Rory, you're fired. The very next episode, he had his therapist on.
Yeah.
And they had a whole session about the whole thing. And it seemed as if, at least from what I heard, it seemed as if Joe understood his role in everything and how shit played out.
Yeah.
That's just what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he plans to act on it or what, but that's what I heard.
Yeah.
And it was good to hear that, but I feel like at that point it was way too late. Like everything was done, Rory and Maul was gone. They on their own time.
Yeah.
It's too late for that. My hope is that Joe takes this as a teachable moment and moves forward in the right direction and understands that he can't be talking to people the way he does, or transition his mind from just being a sole podcaster to actually being the CEO of the JBN, the network, as he is, and treat the network as a company, because he is the head of that.
Yeah.
I understand he's the content creator of the podcast, but you got to switch hats. Like when you off the pod, you are the CEO. Like you have to function as such. And I understand that this is the first time he's been in that type of role. Like he's been he's been an artist for his entire career. He's been a creative his entire career. But to be at the top of a company, this is new for him. So I understand if it's difficult for him to know what to really do, because for his whole career he's been going against those type of people.
Mm-hmm.
So
he became the people that he started to hate.
Yeah.
And it's it's quite unfortunate. It's not a bad thing. It's just you can't win when you're the boss, right?
yeah.
Like you become the very thing that you hate. And you did this to, your quote unquote friends or whatever, however. Now, just listening to everything, like Rory and Maul have very valid points. Very, very, very valid points. So does Joe.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I pay you. Why do you need to see all this? Like, but then again, if our agreement is for, set amount off of, what we bring in, of course we need to see that. So
right.
I get everybody's point, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I don't know. It's like, business got in the way of friendship. And I know Joe probably made that way more difficult than it had to be.
Mm-hmm.
He felt like, well, he'll pay you. What else is there to talk about?
Yeah.
And it's like, I get everybody's point of view. Like, it's like, well, shit, I pay you. What? Damn good at that.
Yeah. And that point right there, I understood Joe. Like, y'all getting paid way more than anybody else in this position. Like, we not even doing well as a network, and y'all still getting paid top notch. I get it.
We ain't traveled.
We ain't did. Listen, they recorded like 4 Zoom episodes, and then they said fuck that shit because they ain't like everybody was inside in 2020, and they were still getting paid like they were outside.
And what I'm saying, we don't know their dealings, we don't know their business, we don't know their family lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just know what they tell us. And I just feel like if, you know, you are getting paid a top, you know, whatever that money is, I know it's just great to sit down and talk to your friends for 6 hours out of a week.
Yeah.
I know it can be taxing. I know it can be very taxing, but
another point that I noticed was in Joe's rant, he mentioned how he was trying to get Rory and Maul to branch out and do things on their own because they are their own brand outside of the podcast as well. Mm-hmm. Like I remember months ago telling Maul to get on his like fashion shit, like, you know, start your YouTube channel because Maul dresses very well. Mm-hmm. And they made a joke of it every episode, and a lot of the listeners like chimed in on the way Maul dressed. So Joe was like, "Yo, why don't you start a show and all this type of shit?" But Maul like for whatever reason, Maul never did. But I feel like that was his opportunity to do something outside of the pod as well.
And that's the thing, you have to take advantage of those situations.
Yes.
You know. You can't be upset that this is your only bread and butter, and then when that gets taken away, and you develop a big fan base. Yeah, nobody virtually knew you before, and you know what I'm saying. We understand that. Yeah. But yet you still have fans and supporters now.
Word.
You can cater to those people that really fuck with you. Like you can really cater to them.
He had a lane carved out. Like he carved out his own lane without even trying, basically. Yeah. Same thing for where Rory has his group Emotional Oranges. Mm-hmm. But even Joe mentioned something about Sirius, the satellite radio company, approaching Joe about doing like a show 4 times a week. And Joe didn't want to do it. But they was like, hey, I'm going to go talk to Rory about it. He brought it to Rory. And for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe Rory didn't have the time, but Rory didn't take that either. Yeah. So, it's, you know, you have your own ways to make your brand bigger outside of the pod. Yeah. You seize those opportunities, you know?
But I would say this. At the end of all this we doing, it still falls on Joe.
Oh, 100%.
It unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? And we can't gloss over this. I heard there's some sexual assault allegations.
Oh yeah. So and that's a point I want to get back to. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So Olivia Dope, who was the third person on See the Thing Is podcast, mm-hmm. the first podcast outside of the JBP mm-hmm. to be on the Joe Budden Network. Joe sat in on the episode with them. So I actually listened to See the Thing Is. It's pretty dope. So Joe sat in on the episode with those ladies, and the episode seemed a little awkward because they were all having their own issues before Joe sat in. Mm-hmm. So Joe sits in, they pod and they talking about topics and all that, but throughout the episode, Joe was making inappropriate comments towards Olivia Dope. Now, Mandy and Bridget, who are the other 2 ladies on there, they've known Joe outside of the network for years. Like they know Joe, they know how Joe acts, they know Joe Budden. Mm-hmm. Joe and Olivia never really spoke, and they even mentioned on that podcast how Joe and Olivia don't talk to each other. Like they never had a conversation, mm-hmm. none of that type of stuff. So Olivia, she goes on Instagram. And she tells the people about certain sections of the pod that were edited out and certain jokes, quote unquote, mm-hmm. that Joe made that she felt very uncomfortable with him making about wanting to have sex with her and other things of that nature. Mm-hmm. So she abruptly quit the show, never talked about why she left the show until she put the video out, which this is like 3 or so months later. Mm-hmm. So that's what happened. And because of that, Joe lost the Cash App sponsorship. Which kind of figured that was coming.
You should have.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, he's the CEO. And it comes with a different hat. And, shout out to Maul for making the hat jokes. But it's like, you wear this hat now. Yeah. And this is your network. And even if you feel that comfortable with the other 2 co-hosts, that's just a relationship that y'all can have off mic. And Joe, you talk about all this shit about respecting women and all this stuff. You can't do that. Yeah. You can't do that. I'm not the one to call hypocrite because hey, we all have our ways. but you should like. I feel that you know better. And that's what it's like. It's almost disappointing, you know.
No, 100%.
And the fact that I'm actually putting this much faith in Joe is a problem. But you know what I'm saying?
It's like if you know you have no rapport with the person, especially woman, you cannot make those types of jokes. Now, again, Joe, Bridget, and Mandy, they know each other. Maybe they do that shit off mic. I don't know. I don't know their life. But you don't know Olivia. At this point, you had never really had a conversation with her. You don't know her like that.
That's your employee.
It's your employee.
Like,
it is not okay to make those types of jokes. That's not okay. It's not okay.
Amen.
But the one point I wanted to make, and then we can get off this, I guess. I think this is something else I'm disappointed in Joe in. During his rant with Warrior Ball, about Warrior Ball, he made mention of when Maul was living with him at one point. And he said that Maul used to keep his laundry detergent in his own room. Now, I found that now I don't know if that's true or not. I don't really care. It's the principle that Joe even said that out loud. If that's the case, Maul's supposed to be your man's. Why are you broadcasting that to millions of people across the world?
He kept his laundry detergent in his room.
Yeah, like
stingy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kind of saying like that. Now, even if that's the case, why are you telling that to the millions of people that listen to you?
Oh, just like, okay, I get it. Okay, it's like a little petty something. I was
like a short jab. Now, if he did it, whatever. Like I don't whatever. It's just the fact that Joe made mention of it during his rant because he was in an angry space.
Oh, I don't know. Well, Maul took his jabs back, so hey, it is what it is.
I actually didn't get a chance to listen to the response.
Oh yeah, Maul did his number, so trust me, that is okay.
Did you pay the $2?
Oh, absolutely not.
I seen that video on like 10 different YouTube pages.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not paying to listen to that.
Not the two.
Now let's ask this moving forward, right? What do you think the future of the Joe Budden podcast will be? And then you have Rory and Paul that might do their offshoot and do their own thing. Will you listen to both or what? I mean, and that's not like you picking a side. Yeah. It's just entertainment value because that's what we listen to all this stuff for, entertainment.
Facts.
So it's not a. You have to be personally invested in personality. I get that, but what do you?
I mean, before the awkward 2 episodes when Rory and Paul came back, I was actually kind of getting used to Ice and Ish. Yeah. Like the feel of the Joe Budden podcast is different now, just because those two are older and they don't have like industry relationships to protect. Yeah. So the way that they talk is different. Yeah. So I mean, at the moment I like it. I'm listening. I can see me getting tired of them though. Like Joe, Rory, and Paul, they had a synergy. I hate that word. They had a synergy that was dope. That kept me wanting to come back every week. I don't necessarily know if Joe, Ish, and Ice have that. Not saying they can at some point. Right now they don't. So we'll see. We'll see. Now with Rory and Maul, I mean, those are my guys. I'll listen to whatever they got coming out. Now, if it's not something that keeps me coming in, I'll just stop. Because I didn't really plan on listening to See the Thing Is. Like I checked out the first couple episodes just to see if it's the female Joe Budden podcast.
Which it is.
Yeah. I mean, but now with just Mandy and Bridget, I really like their dynamic. And then sometimes they have guests on. So I like it. So I'm still listening. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
What about you?
It is what it is. Because I was barely listening to it with Joe, Rory, and Maul, so it didn't matter to me. like I said, I will watch a YouTube clip, but I'm not invested in a 3-hour podcast from nobody, honestly.
True. Yeah.
I remain consistent on my point.
Yeah, that's facts. But yeah, shout out to all parties involved. Yeah, man. Salute to guys. I really hope Joe gets his shit together. Like, I know this won't be the end of like everything Joe Budden Network, but this is a major setback for them. He might not say that shit, but I know this is major. Like he lost millions with the Cash App shit. So we'll see. We shall see.
100 mil, I'm still on my grind. 100 mil, I'm still on my grind. Okay.
Hey.
Since we're here, Jermaine Lamar Cole has dropped the off season.
Jermaine.
We had a chance to kind of digest. We're gonna do a quick album review on that. Johnnie, your thoughts?
Hey man. Shout out to J.Cole. Shout out to all the producers that produced on this album. Shout out to all the features.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great album. I think this is the best album the best album J. Cole has put out within his last 3.
So pretty much in 2014.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yes. My man's is rapping. Let me ask you. Did this album seem like a mixtape at certain times?
No. I never got that feel.
I did. So some like
I've been seeing the chatter and I've been hearing it. No, I don't see mixtape.
That's interesting. 95 South to me sounds like a mixtape track. Like just the way his cadence, the way he actually raps on the song. It's not bad. It's amazing. It sounds and felt like a mixtape. But then we get into Amari, which is the next track, and this is an album song. The song with Lil Baby, that's an album song. Like that's a great song, by the way. Shout out to Lil Baby. Lil Baby's like my new artist that I fuck with. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. What did you think about the album?
Strong album. Strong album. You know, you can't ask me, about J.Cole albums because I'm going to be biased. But it's a strong album, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I had to, out of 5, I'm giving it 4.25. Like, I'm not going to go 4 or 5 right now. Yeah. But 4.25.
I would definitely give it 4.
Oh, strong
like
4. Like, strong 4.
You got your wish, man. My man's worked with other producers, and you see the product.
Like, and he had features that that made sense. Like even though Cam wasn't a feature, like he just talked shit. The energy of the song went up with Cam talking his shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And then the Lil Jon at the end, like I love 95 South. Like he had Moray on the album, which is I love the street crooners. Like I love those guys. So for him to be on the J. Cole project gives him some light, what I'm saying? Like we talk about, like if you go put somebody on, you put them on your album. Like we talk about Drake and Benny. Yeah. If you want to really put Benny on, you put him on Drake album. That's how you do it. Even if it's just him talking, people go find that.
That's real.
But Boss definitely did his thing throughout the album. J. Cole giving him the look on his album. Now people are gonna go look for him, and I always think Boss was a dope artist. I just think that a lot of the Dreamville dudes, they don't really have like star power. They don't find a way to separate themselves from Cole, because no matter how dope you think JID is, it's something keeping him from being next level. If
it's anybody in the Dreamville camp that can separate themselves, it will be JID though.
And why hasn't he done it?
I don't know.
Exactly. I don't know. Like he got the project, so we're not gonna give him no more grace. Like we're not gonna do that. Like he got albums out there. He done been out there on features, and I'm not saying the talent isn't there.
Right, the talent is 100%.
But why the push is not there? Why is the separation not being there? Because you got Revenge of the Dreamers. You got all this stuff. We got the track record,
out
baby.
there.
You got the track record.
He here, but
I know.
It could be his personality. Like it could. He could just be the type of cat that just being.
I preach this all the time. Man, personality sells, baby. JID can rap, and I'll never take that away from him. Boss can rap. Cars even can rap. Omen can rap. A lot of these dudes under J. Cole can rap, and J. Cole is the person, no personality.
That's true.
But he is the biggest one.
J. Cole has definitely worked himself to that point. But what's, again, like you were saying, what's stopping the other artists from doing that? I don't know.
And you signed to one of the hottest. Whenever J. Cole drops something, rather whatever you think about the album, the world stops, and at least the hip hop world stops. Right. You pay attention. So when J. Cole got artists, he should be able to do that. Because at least on TDE, not to say those are signed under Kendrick, everybody know that Top Dog stuff, but at least with Ab, at least with J-Rock, at least with, all the people that we named. Even Isaiah Rashad got the word to stop. Look, listen to his project. It's a single. You know what I'm saying?
It's because of it was because of the damn.
It was because of that announcement. But still, you get my point, right? It's like,
what is
it?
One point about 95 South.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard somebody say, I can't remember who it was, but I heard somebody say this. So 95 South is a highway, interstate, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
It starts in Harlem, which is why you hear Cam first. Goes through North Carolina, goes through Fayetteville, and then goes through Atlanta, which is why you hear Lil Jon at the end. That's hard. That's fine. I like little hidden shit like that. That's dope. That's dope as fuck.
Yes, sir.
This is an album that I will be playing for the duration of the year. Like whatever comes out after this, some of these songs will still be in a rotation.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I don't know if I've had an album like that in a minute.
This year.
Definitely not this year.
Okay.
Definitely not this year. Maybe the one joint on Conway album with Ludacris and J.I.D.
Yeah.
But other than that, like it's multiple songs on this album.
I follow you on that.
Man, it's crazy.
Let me ask you this before we kind of get off before we get off the off season. Favorite song on this album?
Oh, the joint with Lil Baby. That is a tie between that and 95 South.
Okay. I actually like My Life with Savage. Like,
My Life is hard.
Listen to this, man. And me and my bro Mark was having this debate, right? I was like, 21 Savage started out as a street rapper, right? Everybody knows this, but he ain't for the streets no more. He is mainstream.
Oh,
He
100%.
out of, like 21 Savage used to inhabit an area of rap. Now he's mainstream as hell. Like, that's crazy to me.
You know why?
Why?
Because we found out he was in London.
I'm just talking shit. But he's marketable, you know what I'm saying, in a sense, and he has personality.
He changed. I think he changed his. The way people perceive him in the media.
Well, I mean, him dating Amber Rose helps too.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, a lot of these moves that you make have to, they make sense in the grand scheme of things. You being dating Amber Rose, cool. You're doing these songs with J.Cole, alright. Him being in front of cameras, like being, he's been on news outlets and he's been on Vice TV and shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that helps your mainstream profile.
Oh, that's true. That's facts. That's facts. It's just so funny because all the shit you just named, but he could still say, I got a good heart, so I send their mom teddy bears when I make them cry. Like,
and nobody questions it.
I love it.
And we love it.
I love the versatility. It's great, man. The all season fire album. I saw somebody say, well, I guess technically, I saw somebody say this is the album of the decade.
Okay.
you had to know it was coming at some point. Something like that was coming at some point.
Y'all do. The J.Cole stands do this to us, man. Like, I'm a J.Cole stand. I just told you this, but Jesus Christ. I don't make it this hard. I don't want to do this, man. I don't want to do this. But speaking of, just people saying these crazy things, man. We had Fat Joe on a recent episode. I want to say Drink Champs, right?
I do believe so. Yeah.
I know you got to big up your mans. You know what I'm saying? But this debate has burnt up social media. He said that DJ Khaled is the hip hop version of Quincy Jones. Johnny, your thoughts?
So, I'm not gonna lie. I understand what Fat Joe is trying to say. It's just what he said is not accurate. Now, I think what Fat Joe is trying to say is DJ Khaled in the hip hop space is like a type of Quincy Jones where he's able to bring artists together, curate these songs, curate these songs. But in no way, shape, or form is DJ Khaled on the level that Quincy Jones is. I think he's saying he attempts to do what Quincy Jones has done. But we know DJ Khaled is not doing that at the Quincy Jones level.
Okay. Even if, right, you quantify this by saying hip hop Quincy Jones, because that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's not even that.
Oh, 100%.
He's not even the hip hop, because when you do that, it's a real slap in the face to a Diddy or a Dre. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that actually curate. Like, look at the track record.
Yeah.
DJ Khaled's track record doesn't even amount to a Diddy.
Oh, definitely.
Like, or a Dre. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you're talking about producing, curating music, taking artists, making them bigger than what they are.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Quincy, you know, Quincy's greatest Frankenstein is Michael Jackson. Everybody knows this, right?
This is true.
Like, Michael Jackson was out here in these streets. He didn't really know what he was doing. Quincy got him. Look at him. Look at him. All right, now that's all we got to say about Quincy. Now look at Dre. NWA, Eminem, Snoop, 50, Kendrick. Name me one person that DJ Khaled got.
I'm gonna stop him. He ain't got shit.
What we got? Ace Hood? The fuck?
I mean,
no, it's not even a fair comparison.
But you know what though?
It's not even right.
Every point you just made is valid.
Mm-hmm.
In Fat Joe's defense, I don't think that's what he meant.
Okay.
That's me though. That's me.
No, you're right.
I just don't think that's what he meant.
We trying to figure out what he's trying to say.
I think Fat Joe only meant from the curating song standpoint, like putting these big features together. I think that's what he meant. Because there's no way, shape, or form that he could mean Quincy Jones on the level that you just the examples that you just named.
You have to find somebody, because Quincy is like, he's the godfather. Like, Quincy is that nigga. Like, Quincy.
Listen, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It's
okay. My God, it's cool. Like, it's cool. And thinking about this topic, a part of me feels like DJ Khaled is like kind of the evolution of Lil Jon, kind of. Cause back in the crunk days, Lil Jon was putting together, at least on deep cuts of his albums, he was putting together these hip hop heavy hitters and curating these songs, and he even transitioned to the EDM shit. Yeah. A lot of people don't even know about Lil Jon in the EDM space. He been doing that shit for hellas too.
The only reason, and I'll combat your point on this, right? When you say Lil Jon, I think people, and I'm not saying you, I just think people misconstrue that for the yelling on records. You know what I'm saying? Rather than like Lil Jon actually produced.
Well,
right,
and that's what I'm saying.
And I'll say this: I'm not, and I pretty much can say this like without even no research. DJ Khaled ain't produced shit. Executive produced, but I'm talking about like getting in the lab.
You don't think DJ?
I don't think so. Like, Lil Jon actually has production, production credits. You know what I'm saying? Like,
now,
you call like Lil Jon. People call Lil Jon to make a song, right? Think about it like this: Girl Fight, Brooke Valentine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. DJ Khaled ain't got that. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I think I'm like, no. Like, and it's not to discredit anything DJ Khaled has done, but I think it's too much sauce being put on it. You know what I'm saying? Now that ain't it.
In this moment, Fat Joe mentioned DJ Khaled in this space.
Yeah.
Only because DJ Khaled seems to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, seems to be the only executive producer putting together albums where he's getting all of these big acts together at the same, on tracks together.
Well, that's fair then too.
But Fat Joe gotta relax.
Oh yeah,
he gotta relax.
Like, you can big up your mans, but you ain't have to say Quincy.
You ain't gotta do that, man.
When you said Quincy, that's what made it this.
Word. It's like, all right, man. Fat Joe gotta relax. I just thought about this. Shout out to Fat Joe, Nas, LL Cool J. They just broke ground on like a hip hop museum, being curated by actual hip hop artists out in Brooklyn.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, I saw that article the other day. So whenever that shit open, I ain't going.
Well, that's dope because I mean, shout out to Atlanta being in the forefront of that. But they got the track museum in Atlanta.
They do.
But New York should have been had one.
Oh, 100%.
They should have been had one, especially that. the building in the Bronx where hip hop was originated, quote unquote. That should be like a national landmark.
It needs to be.
It needs
like
to be,
but
I don't know why, man. Hip hop need a coalition, man. Like it's a lot of stuff that we lack on let the culture kind of get away from, like a Biggie Stoop, like stuff like that.
All that shit need to be commemorated somehow. Man, we got all of these like hip hop historical landmarks.
Yep.
And like nothing to really show for. Like, man, we do need a hip hop union coalition. We need something. Off a genre that people thought was a fad. They thought this shit was gonna go away in a year or two. This shit is here. This shit is global. It's influencing every culture on the planet. This shit is nuts. We did that. Black people did that.
I like what you did there. You just helped me with my segue.
Let's do it.
Main topic. Who would we be if we didn't give you some OS stuff? So we're here to do that. We had a week off. We coming with something, right? Now, we had a topic amongst ourselves. I asked the question, John said, let's talk about this on the pod, right? Let's talk about this on the pod. Now, Nas' term to coin hip hop is dead back in 2016, named the album after it. And I would beg to differ to say that hip hop is dead now, right? Like if you look at it from a broad landscape, right? It's so much that we built on the backs of hip hop and stuff like that, like the hip hop coalitions and stuff like that. It's stuff that we just kind of let get away from. Stuff has changed so much, and you can argue that rappers are the best they've ever been right now. As far as like.
You can argue.
You can argue that because it's less back then. That's why you'll say, "Oh, this is the golden era." But technically, there's a lot of people that rap.
Yeah,
like that's my point.
I think so. It's a lot of people that can rap, but I think the difference between then and now is the quality of the actual music. I feel like was a little better back then. Like you had more people putting out more quality music. You're not getting as much quality music now. Is what I feel like. What you think about that?
Well, the question is hip hop dead now? Before we kind of go off our sidebar rants and everything, it depends on how you look at it. Like one of the points I brought up was regionalist rap, and when I say that, hip hop is definitely a lot of region based, right? Yep. You have your New York sound, you have a gritty Philly sound, you have Jersey who had its own sound, then you have the South, you have Miami bass, you have Texas Chopped and Screwed, you have Cali and what they do, you have the Bay and what they do, you have Midwest sound, like you have all this stuff. There's really no sounds anymore, right? You know what I'm saying? Like New York can sound like Atlanta. Somebody from New Orleans, J Electronica, can sound like he's from New York. Somebody from Miami can sound like anybody.
Right.
Somebody from Detroit can sound like, they have the same slang and terminology, but if you talk about like a sound, they can easily rap on a Bay beat and it's popping now.
Right. So are you saying hip hop might be dead because there's no distinctive sounds throughout the regions?
I would say that the moment that we were able to cross over and do things like that, you don't have people trying to be the best versions of themselves. You know what I'm saying? You can be the best version of yourself from another place. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I want to be the best East St. Louis rapper. And you're going to listen to me and I sound like this. I'm not trying to make a song for somebody else to appreciate this. You know what I'm saying? I see
what you're saying. Damn, the damn internet. But I feel like the reason that's happened is because the access to these regions is so easy now. Like before the internet, before email, you had to actually go somewhere to record. Yeah. Like,
and that takes the feeling away from like a dope ass collab.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? 100%. Because like you can hear somebody's verse, you're like, damn man, let me go back and write it. I'm talking about like if they emailed, I'm like, all right, cool. But it's a different feel of being probably in there and you see him or her rap their ass off. You like, you know what?
Yeah, let me tweak this line. Oh no, he going hard. I gotta make when I go in the booth. I need to go harder. Like
Exactly.
It's almost like the competitiveness in the song making and verse writing is not there.
It's there, but it still feels a little different when you're in the room. You create the energy. You feel the energy.
Man,
that's why you get like a lot of people saying, "Oh, this was a lazy collab," and it possibly was.
Definitely because also because of technology,
you can mail a verse in just
like you could email somebody a verse that's like on vacation or somewhere doing something, they busy. Oh, I'm busy. I need to write this verse real quick. That's going to be a lazy verse because you're already in the middle of something else because they just emailed you this shit. You making a makeshift studio on the side of the room because somebody just emailed you a verse. Oh, I need to get this verse out real quick. Let me write it. No, like that. It seems like the focus of verses isn't prevalent for real, and that's how you get a lot more people who get on SoundCloud, who are making these, lazy hip hop songs. That is, because it's easier to put them out there now.
Yeah. What do you think about more rappers dying before they actually get on? Right, like we have an epidemic. It seems like of newer artists. Because before they can actually become stars, like most famously Pop Smoke, rest in peace. Yeah. He died at the age of 20 due to gun violence, and then you have other drill artists, out of Chicago, King Von, and other names that shouldn't be on these types of lists, but they die at the hands of violence. Even though we praise, people for being products of their environment, talking about their struggles and things like that, and putting it on wax. We look at it as a positive outlook, but when violence is the end result of that, that's when we're like, oh no, we should do better.
I wonder if a part of the reason that it's happening, so like literally somebody can be on overnight, somebody can blow up overnight, and it's not as easy for the old heads to grab the younger acts to say, hey, all right, look, you about to blow up, like you can't move the same way you moved. I wonder if that plays a part into it. I wasn't as familiar with Pop Smoke before he passed, but I wonder if that's what was happening. Like, because I feel like, at least to me, he kind of like blew up overnight. He may have been grinding before that, and I didn't know about it. But when he blew up, it's like as soon as he blew up, like, because he passed away before his album drop, his debut album drop, right? So it's like maybe they need like older representation to help them move different, because you can't move the same once you get on. Because now you become, maybe you were a target before, you're becoming a bigger target now.
Yeah. I don't know, it comes with the evolution of rap, right? Because I think with the thing with, not even just pop, right? They rap about reality. Yeah. And we always praise our rappers for being authentic. We all, like, I do. Yeah. I ain't gonna speak for Johnnie. I praise rappers for being authentic. If that's the stuff you live, you should be able to rap about it. You know what I'm saying? So if that's your reality, rap about it. But I'm not saying that should come at the cost of your life. I'm not saying that. So in that sense, like, I praise the gangster rapper, but then again, I never want to see them, become have a demise of that sort. So it's like, where's that fine line? Like, where, like, rap is always going to be reality based in my mind, as it should be. Right. Especially if you're coming from, certain, like, whatever your environment is, you should be able to rap about that. I just don't know where the fine line is with that.
I wonder, like, what's the difference between gangster rappers from the 80s, 90s versus today? Like, why? I guess I'm having trouble figuring out why.
Honestly, there's no difference, because the same shit happened back then too. It's just internet. It's more rappers than it is than ever. So we talk about a King Von, and back in the day, no disrespect to King Von, may he rest in peace, but he may have not been a star back then than he is, than what he's doing, than what he was getting ready to do. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's all era based, because right now, the drill movement is really, 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 really big. So if you're a popular drill artist, of course you're gonna be pushed up. So if that's the stuff that you rap about, it may not have been your time or whatever. So I think that's where I kind of get lost, because you look at drill artists and you're like, damn man, like it's kind of dangerous being you.
Yeah.
But if you're just a regular, dope boy rapper, nobody thinks anything else. But you deal in the dangerous game. It's kind of the same thing in my opinion.
Yeah. I think I agree. It's just it's tragic to see, because who knows, like King Von and Pop Smoke, who knows how their trajectory would have went.
Pop was about to be that dude.
Man.
Like I can't really speak to King Von, but New York, as much as we talk about New York, they were clamoring. I won't say thirsty, clamoring for a new star, and King and Pop Smoke was definitely that.
Yeah.
You may not rock with his music, but you can't deny the star power.
Yeah. He shot a movie before he passed away. I don't know if it's out yet or not.
Like I said, star.
But
like he star, like the music star. He has it. Whatever it is, he had it.
Yeah.
So just stuff like that. And then like I mentioned, dope boys. Drug culture and rap always go together. The Message, one of the biggest hip hop songs ever, is talking about drug in the community, right?
Yeah.
Now we finally get the dope boys talking about their point of view, what they had to do. Then you get the people that use talking about their point of view. And now all this stuff culminates and you get drug overdoses, you get, rappers caught up in indictments and things like that. Like I said, is it our fault? Like, that's why I ask these questions. Like, is hip hop dead? Because a lot of the stuff that we praise, and you praise the authenticity, you praise the drug, the drug dealer. You praise the person that talked about what it did to the community. You praise the people that pushed it in the community, quote unquote, and then you praise the person that used it.
Yeah. Back when the drug dealing rap was huge, I don't think anybody could foresee the consequence of that, which is we have drug dealing in rap, right? But it's who we dealing to. At some point, the person that uses it is going to start rapping as well. I don't think anybody really thought about that when drug dealing rap was real, and I feel like part of it is our fault, because we were, we had the rappers rapping about it, we had us rapping the shit along with them, going to concerts and stuff like that. I feel like a part of it is our fault as a culture. But none of us could have foreseen that happening, like the drug user rap coming and then that affecting the listeners. Like nobody could have foreseen that.
Yeah, nobody. We're looking at this thing with 2020 hindsight, right? But it's just like,
yeah.
What could we have done differently? And there's no real answer to that. But it's just to see that where hip hop is now is a lot of the product and a lot of the success that we propped up, whether it be the drug culture, the use, the violence. Like we herald all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's how we get to the point in 2021 where all these things just kind of hit the wall, and it's just kind of like it is what it is. You have people over here that pick and choose what they like, and that's just kind of like that's kind of like what the crux of it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then kind of our last point before maybe we close out or whatever, we see how this goes. But we don't allow more than one woman rapper to dominate in the game at this time. I never understood that, why it can only be one, because clearly we let the men dominate in the space, right?
Yeah.
If anything we know, it's been a three-headed monster for the past 10 years when it comes to male rap.
Yep.
Drake, Kendrick, and Cole.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
But it's only been Nicki throughout that time space. There's been other women rappers in the 2010s, absolutely.
But we just never propelled them to that mainstream stardom.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and this is something you and I have discussed in the past. I've discussed this with other people, and I still can't figure out why this is a thing. Like, what is it?
It's weird because, right, every 20 years things change, right?
Yeah.
I look at things like, okay, when rap was in its 80s, right, in the 80s, you had Salt and Pepper, MC Light, Queen, we can keep going, right?
Yeah. And they even rolled over into the 90s, and then we added more. We got Money Love, like Yo-Yo. Like we had women.
But the 90s, but it's like the 90s is ultimately defined by Lil Kim's success, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you move to the 2000s where you get like a push of women MCs. You still got Kim doing her thing. You got Eve, Trina, Missy. Like, you know what I'm saying? All these people doing their thing and they're eating at the same time. Then Nicki comes along, then we don't get a stretch of another woman MC until Cardi comes along. No disrespect to anybody else.
Yeah.
But that's just weird. You know what I'm saying?
That's super weird. I wonder if it's because maybe there were no other, and again, no disrespect to other women MCs, there were no other women MCs that had the type of star power that Nicki did during that span. Now, I don't know.
We've been told that Nicki has done underhanded things in the background to kind of, sabotage women's careers. That's why Cardi has came at it a little bit, even Remy, to the extent. But it's just, and we have to let go of the idea that there can only be one. We have to let go. And I'm not saying you.
Yeah.
We have to do it because we know that there are other talented women MCs that deserve whatever fanfare they're going to get. And maybe you start to see that turning the tide now, because now it's just, we're kind of past the Nicki era, and Nicki can still come out and do whatever she wants to do because she's Nicki Minaj. Salute to the queen, but there are others out there that deserve a seat at this table to make money. You know what I'm saying? And be known as the best.
I think people's memory is easily lost when it comes to these types of things. So like we said, we had women 80s, 90s, early 2000s. We had women in hip hop, and then some anomaly happened where we only had Nicki for an extended period. During the Nicki reign, I feel like people forgot that we had multiple women in rap at the same time. So when Nicki's reign, I would say, came to an end, and we get Meg, Cardi, I think they forget that there was a point in time in hip hop where we did have multiple women, or it could be the point where Nicki was in her reign. There were younger people there that maybe were not as astute to the fact that we had those women in the past.
Well, the thing is, the one thing that we fail to realize, right? All the women that we named played with each other. You know what I'm saying? They collab with each other. Like even though Kim is quintessentially the '90s woman rapper, right?
Yep.
That's the apex of a woman rapper in the '90s. Lil Kim, she played with others. Like you've seen her in other videos. She may not have collabed with everybody, but she only person she really had beef with, and that was like a little, not a real beef, but just like your cross town beef. Foxy. Like it wasn't a beef.
True. So yeah, I don't know.
Nicki doesn't play well with others.
Oh well, yeah, that's definitely true. But then is that an indictment on Nicki then?
Yeah, it is.
So a part of it, would you say, is Nicki's fault as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, yeah. So a combination of Nicki playing her part, the culture playing their part, both the younger fans and the current fans at the time forgetting that there were women in the past, multiple women. I think a storm of all of that is the reason. Yeah. And hopefully going forward we can get out of that. Hopefully Cardi drops. Megan, she'll come back off of her hiatus at some point. Maybe we get more women in the mainstream. Mulatto, she just changed her name to Lotto.
Big Lotto.
Big her. Hopefully Rico Nasty gets the mainstream look she deserves. Like there are other women out here doing it as well. So
Absolutely.
And of course we got Rhapsody. So it's like
Absolutely.
Hopefully we can get there. Outside, hopefully it'll be open in 2022. Maybe we'll have a summer just for women MCs.
Oh yeah, City Girls just talk spercolators. Don't ask me how I know that, but it's.
Oh no, I knew it too.
Oh,
but listen, off the name alone, off the strength of the name, I was like, oh no, let me go listen to this. It's me.
No, it's for outside. Like I'm not expecting anything more than that.
They ain't even use the right beat. They use the Planet Rock. Now Planet Rock is a fire beat, but I hear Twerkulator, I assume you're gonna use the percolator beat. But that's my analysis. But anyway, so Ralph, is hip hop dead?
Hip hop is in the best version it's ever been. Rappers are making the most money they've ever been. Maybe the creativity is not there, but no, it's not.
I agree. Hip hop is not dead. It is constantly evolving. That's my take. That was a dope topic though. I'm glad you brought that up. So
we're here to pie, baby.
Word. You know, we had to give y'all some extra since we was off last week.
Oh yeah.
But if you're on YouTube, we appreciate you for sticking this far. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We will be posting new episodes every week.
Yes, sir.
And if you are on